Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted today to talk about my experience with fasting this last Ramadan. Today is Eid Mubarak, and happy Eid. And if you don't celebrate that, you're about to learn a little bit about it. Um, so today is the first day after fasting has stopped. So, for those of you that don't know, during the month of Ramadan, we fast for, well, about 3-ish weeks for women, and then a month for men because we don't fast while we're bleeding. And it's a month of like true self discipline and restraint, self reflection, and really kind of um, refining the things in our lives. And it really is, reflection and restraint really embody the month of Ramadan. All R is cool. So I wanted to describe the process that I went through and the time in my life that it came and why it was such a blessing. Um, so, for those of you that don't know, the last year and about 3 months almost, um, my husband has been in and out of work. Okay. He's been doing temporary contracts here and there, with slews of months where there was no work, no income. And I wrote a Substack on that. I'll probably make a video for it too, for those of you that prefer video that are here on YouTube. And I'll put the link below. But what that was like to go through, um, for those of you that want to know what it was like to go through on and off income and all that, I'll link that. However, or anyways, so the time in my life that Ramadan came, it started March 1st. It moves back 10 days every year because it follows the lunar cycle. And so it's not always on the first of any particular month. So it was kind of cool that it started on March 1st. Another reason why I thought it was cool was because I felt like I needed an extra challenge to kind of take my mind and focus off of the things that I had been just so stressed out about, like the income thing. And I'm renting a home right now, and we know it's not where we're going to stay, so we know we're going to be moving soon again, and going through some transformation in my life with like community, all that stuff. It came at a great time because I was looking forward to really challenging myself to grow internally, in my patience and my perseverance, and see like what I'm made of, like let me see what I can do while I'm fasting, and let me see how I can persevere and like demonstrate fortitude nevertheless. You know what I mean? And so I was looking forward to fasting this year. It's not always the case. I fasted last year, but I was sick for much of it, and so I didn't get a fast for very many days during Ramadan. Um, but this year I fasted for 16 days consecutively. I was so proud of myself. And it takes a tremendous amount of like motivation and willpower to do that. Um, yeah. And different personality types, different backgrounds, struggle with different things. And self discipline is certainly something that I am still working to grow in. Anyways, so then I took a break for my period, and then I fasted the last, I don't know how many days, um, probably 7. Um, it's not always a perfect month because it's the lunar cycle, anywhere between what, 27 and 30 days or something like that. So that was the overview. Now, the way that we fast. Okay, so I know that most Muslims do this in a similar way. Some might be different. I don't know. This is my experience with my own family. So, of course, adults fast and teenagers probably fast. I know my husband did when he was in high school, but our kids didn't fast, of course. They're 7.5 and almost 4. And myself and my husband would get up at probably like an hour and a half before like first light. which is different from sunrise because in the Quran it tells us to eat and drink until we see the first thread of light in the sky. And the timing of sunrise is different from that. So we make sure that we are done before the first light. A lot of people think it's sunrise, but it's not, it's before that. And we would go downstairs. He would often get up before me and prepare a few things. He would make a protein smoothie, and then he would usually have pancakes and like oatmeal or something. And I would come down, have some of the protein smoothie, and then I would make like eggs and take my supplements and drink water. Um, and then we would go get back in bed because when you're fasting and you have little kids, um, you need all the rest you can get. And so we would go back to bed and then we would wake up with the kids, or let's say I would wake up with the kids. And sometimes my husband would, often not, and go do, things for them, and go on about the day mostly as usual. I would attend outdoor co-ops. I would climbed a mountain on one of the co-op trips I did, walk long distances, take care of the kids, drive places, all that stuff while we're fasting. And then at the end of the night, we would wait until it was obviously night outside, and then we would eat. It would be after sunset, probably, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes after sunset, somewhere around there. The only things that did change significantly were women are different every single day of the month. And so the hormones are different. I'd be tired on some days, not on others, headache on some days, not on others, more upbeat on some days, not on others. And so, some of the time I would just be resting, right? I would take my kids somewhere and then I would come home and be resting. And then my husband would take over a few hours later and then eat and go to bed. So I rested a lot more. And I think that's a good thing. I think that for a long time I felt burnt out. I feel like as a mom in 2025 who believes that I have a duty to do justice to my kids, I truly believe that like every child deserves a developmentally appropriate childhood. And um, it's difficult to deliver that in 2025 America. The norms are not that. The norms are like outsourcing, mothering and burning yourself out to try to be both a financial contributor in the household and a mom. It's all wonky. So being a mom that truly believes that I have a responsibility, that my children have a right that is owed by me to give them a developmentally appropriate childhood, then I go to great lengths to meet their needs and to try to, man, go about this motherhood journey in a way that's really intentional. Um, and that can be exhausting in 2025 America, man, and probably other places, but this is where I have experience in. And so I've been burnt out for a long time because the social structure simply does not support mothers to mother verb. And so I have constantly had to transform and shift into really creative and flexible ways in order to meet their needs while not killing myself doing it, you know? And so I've been feeling burnt out for a long time. And I've just recently, like in the last, like during the winter when I faced myself, I, I totally made a vow to myself that like my kids are getting older. My daughter is 7.5 and my son is almost 4. My kids are a little bit older now. And I can afford to let go more and I can afford to take good care of myself now. Like, I'm constantly in a process of building up more courage to care for myself because I know that when you fuel a mother who has her moral compass pointed to the North Star, then she then goes and overflows into everybody else. Not to overuse the cup analogy, I'm talking about like, you know, I'm constantly trying to learn in order to implement these good changes for not just myself, yes, but my family, because I implement these changes on a family level, right? So during this Ramadan, why this is pertinent is like I had realized this winter, which just ended like, I don't know, was it last week? 10 days ago, winter just ended officially, right? And I had the realization and came to the conclusion that I need to take really good care of myself and I need to let go more. I need to let people in more to help me, to support me more. And I'm committed to doing just that. And so I used part of this Ramadan to reflect on that and ease into it and to surrender to the rest and reflection that Ramadan is very symbolic of and supportive of. And I rested a lot. I rested a lot. And I think I'm better off for it. Um, it's kind of funny though, in between, while I was on my period, I was like, oh, I'm eating, no problem. I had a bunch of social things during my period, and man, did I pay for it when my period was over. I had an introvert hangover, like, I don't know, for probably 5 days after I overdid it with social events on my period. Okay. That was a mistake. But I did go to a ladies' dinner of breaking the fast that only happens once a year, right? How could I skip that? And then my parents requested to have a movie night with my kids. Um, Looking back, I probably could have rescheduled that one, but nevertheless, don't overdo it on your period, ladies. Don't, you will pay for it. Anyways, and the last week was the roughest. The last week was the roughest. I was like, okay, I'm ready for this new chapter in my life. My husband had started work this last week too. So I was like, okay, we got an income. We are almost done fasting and spring is here. Like everything is coming together to make this like a fresh start for us. I was so ready. Of course, I had to practice patience and still be grateful for whatever it was in the moment, right? And see everything is happening for me and use whatever I had in the moment to like make the best of it. But I'm so glad it's here. It's finally here. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions about what Ramadan's like, or you're curious about fasting or anything, I'm really an open book. Ask me in the comments, and I will answer in another video. So yeah, Eid Mubarak, and I hope and pray that your upcoming season is filled with hope, renewal, rejuvenation, and healthy challenges that we all need to improve ourselves and keep showing up as a continual evolution of like our higher selves. But yeah, I just wanted to share about my experience, and I hope you guys got a little glimpse into what it's like, at least for me and my family, even if you do fast or if you don't, a little glimpse. Yeah, so thanks for watching and see you next time.